What's going on, everybody? Andraki namaskaram. My name is Prithvi Ganesh Mavuri, and this is my puppy, Bahu Mavuri. And today's going to be a really, really exciting episode. It is our first official collab between Masalainurdosa Presents and JRPW Services. My partner, Jenny Radhakrishnan, Jenny Rad. Jenny, if you don't mind requesting me, but it's going to be, we're going to try to do this every week, where we come on together with us and our pups and answer your questions about whatever they are, about our dogs, about our identity, about relationships, about family, whatever it is. So super, super excited to kick this off with my partner, Jenny Radhakrishnan. What is up?
Hi.
Where's the pup?
Right there.
What?
That's
Oliver.
But Oliver, come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
So,
Come here.
Jenny, why don't you just introduce you and Oliver to everybody real quick?
Hi, everyone.
Uh-huh.
I'm Janny. And this is Oliver. He's like, what's going on? This is Oliver.
Oh, hi, Oliver. Oh, thank you, Bahu.
Now
Thank
you
you.
can see his face.
Yeah. Oh, Bubba. Well, as you know, we have a couple questions that a couple of our followers sent us. So the format of this event, show, whatever you want to call it, is going to be that, like, I think we're just going to answer people's questions and just talk about whatever we talk about. And so, I just want to shout out everybody who is joining us. Lakshmi, Ashok, Mrinal.
My sister.
Yes, the family's in on this. And
My family's here.
okay, Bahu's freaking out, so I'm gonna let him go to his bed too. But so
Oliver just went underneath the bed.
Okay. So I guess the first question, I got about 5 questions here.
Wait, let's tell people first what this platform is for.
Yeah, no, I did right before you jumped on, but once again, this is a collaboration between Masalainurdosa Presents and JRPW Services.
Yay.
It is going to be what we think is going to be a weekly a thing where we get on together with us and our puppies and talk about all things identity, relationships, family, how we what's up, Anil, and just go from there and answer any questions that people have for us. So
and I think what's unique about our story that I don't know if people will be able to relate, but we met online and the majority of our relationship has been online and virtual because we're long distance. And not only that, but then obviously now with COVID, the amount of traveling that we can do also to each other has been pretty restricted. So hopefully we have some interesting tips for people, whether you're in long distance relationships or you're just in relationships during this really weird time and you need some, I don't know, advice from me and you on just what we do, because I feel like we're thriving. So
yeah, for sure, or at least our perspective, but yeah. So
so you have questions?
Yeah, so we have some questions. The first 2 are gonna be about our pups. Obviously, they're the I guess, like, the stars that they are, which both of them have gone to sleep. But so the first thing, what is your favorite part about being a dog parent?
Oh, okay. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first?
Yeah, please. No.
Okay.
You first.
So I have always seen dogs and animals as just emotional lifesavers. Ever since I was a kid, my sister and I, she's actually on here, we were asking mom and dad to get us dogs. And it wasn't until my sister left for college that I got, my parents saw the first of oh, we might have child who experiences sad, like depression. And so they finally caved and then got our family dog, Beckham.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've always just known that me around animals just like it just brightens up my life, my
Mm-hmm.
whole emotional happiness. So
Mm-hmm.
once I pretty much graduated college and went out on my own, I knew that I was gonna like have like we obviously have our family dog at home, or we did, he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I wanted to get a dog for me because for me, it's like my favorite part of having a dog. It's just like that. It's just like, it's this beautiful, magical bond that you have with this animal. It's like the most unconditional love in the
Yeah.
world. And
100%.
I experienced that with Oliver. I mean, I got him knowing that he was going to be an emotional support animal. Yes, being present with your pet is very therapeutic, 100%. Like Oliver is my emotional support animal. Like I literally have a paper from my therapist saying Oliver Radhakrishnan is Janie Radhakrishnan's emotional support animal. And I mean
Right.
that's my favorite thing is we just have a bond, and it is forever and it is unbreakable.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think for me it's definitely the very similar thing. My thing with Bahu, I didn't even know I was gonna get Bahu the day I was gonna that I got Bahu. I went to go see puppies with a friend, and this fool just like really roped me in by being really quiet and timid and just really just falling asleep on my lap. And then like after 3 days after coming home, he showed me his true colors. And I he's such a goofy boy. He is just does the goofiest things and just shows the utmost love and excitement when my favorite thing is when I walk through that door after a long day's work,
Yeah.
and and how excited he is. That's my favorite thing. um so yeah. Are you okay if we go to the next question?
I love it. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. What is the hardest thing about being a dog parent?
Mm. Honestly, probably just those days where I'm feeling really, really, really lazy. It's like either I'm lazy or I'm sick or
Mm,
something, and just knowing that like they are still a being. Like just because I'm feeling like crap doesn't mean that like I can't walk him, or like it's we obviously didn't get what Louisiana got, but Memphis got some really bad hurricane, and I
yeah,
literally was like, I still have to take my dog out. So I
yeah,
went out there with an umbrella, and we're like in flooded water, but like, your
yeah.
dog's got to go. And that's probably just the hardest part of just like, you know what? You still have to take care of this being, even if like the environment says otherwise, your emotions feel otherwise, your physical activity energy feels otherwise.
Hmm.
You still have to take care of your animal.
I mean, I think you took the words right out of my mouth. I don't even have anything to add there. Like that is the hardest thing. Like, I work some long hours, and then I have to come home and I have to play with him. I have to like take him out, and like some days it's just so exhausting. Especially, us being single dog parents for now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah. And so now like I have a couple questions about
Okay.
me and you.
Okay.
As you guys are just joining us, like, Jenny and I are partners. We've been dating for a while, like about a little bit more than a year and a half, I want to say. And
Yeah.
the first question is very simple. Shout out to the Donut Monster for asking this. How did you guys meet? And I think there's lot to unpack there.
Aw. Yeah. Do you want to take this one? Because I answered the other ones first.
Yeah, sure. Well, so Jenny and I met online, and it seems to be that it has been my first relationship uh, that I really uh, met online through Dill Mill. And um, yeah, I think I downloaded the app, and you were like the first person that I matched with. And yeah, so that's how we initially started talking. And I was in a really um, a difficult time where I was in the CCU, which is cardiac critical care, and hello. Um,
I was in the cardiac critical care unit, and I was just talking to this person for close to a month before I actually went out and saw her. And that is such a hard and scary thing to do, to like talk to somebody online and then
My wife.
go all the way to a new place to meet them. And that's how you feel about like, okay, I think we lost Jenny there. Let's see, we're going back. Yeah. So, as I was saying, meeting people online, hard. About how we talked to each other almost close to a month, even a little bit more before we actually met. How was that? How was that meeting each other for the first time for you? Like,
So I'm sorry, it kept freezing on my end, so I don't know if it's because we were breaking Instagram bandwidth, but I think I caught the last bit of that. About how we talked for first online for a month and then met.
yeah, like
Okay.
you were the first person I matched with on Bill Mill after I downloaded the app, and then
Yeah.
we talked. I was in a really busy situation where I couldn't come see you right away, and we talked for
Yeah.
about a month, and I totally thought she was gonna just like ghost.
I thought the same thing about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, meeting you, I had high expectations, but
Okay.
they surpassed my expectations. I mean, there was nothing honestly surprising. Like, I think I joked with you that night because you were like, "Oh, send me your address," and I was like, "Ah, don't murder me."
Oh,
So,
God.
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like it's weird. Like, even though we just talked on the phone,
Uh-huh.
it was like phone, I think for 2 weeks straight. And then I think after 2 weeks, we finally started to video chat. And
Mm-hmm.
even that was like a big transition. I think I was like, hey, do you want to video chat? And it was like, yeah, like that was us taking a step in the relationship, was like moving from
Yeah.
texting to call on the phone to video chat.
Yeah.
And so then the next step in the relationship was then meeting each other in person. And honestly, it went really well. I mean, I wasn't surprised because I kind of knew that I was already gonna like you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I
joke's on you.
well, no, like I thought like me talking for a month before we actually met was gonna be the thing that kind of deterred you. But like I knew, I mean, just to tell you guys how like committed to this I was, I guess like I went there with my dog. Like I went there with my dog. Like, I
And
went.
our dogs were not friends.
They were not friends, and they're just becoming friends now. So it was awesome. It was honestly, Jenny had the whole weekend planned. She took me to a block party that one of her friend Natalie Shu threw with the local community grocery store. Took me to a Memphis 901 game. Uh, box
Box seats,
seats.
baby.
I mean, like shit. I was taken care of. So that was really cool. So that's a little bit about how we met. The next one is, how do you guys express your love to one another?
Ooh, I like this one because I feel like mine changes. I think I even told you this. I told you, I was like, I feel like since quarantine has happened, my love language has changed. So
Yeah.
I'm really big into Enneagram and the love language. If people haven't looked into either of those, I think they're really good for self-reflection, but also I feel like it's helped us like kind of balance each other out and figure out each other's needs. And again, not that we're perfect. We're figuring all this out too, but
Mm.
oh, my sister said I knew Prithvi was the one for Jan's when he drove all the way to Jackson to have a 1 hour lunch with me. Yeah, you did. um, but so I would say my love language, probably in the beginning of our relationship, so I guess a year and a half-ish ago, was
Hmm.
more acts of service. So like doing kind things, doing things
Hmm.
for someone. Um, and probably honestly, that's it. Because so I had been in in a long distance relationship even beforehand. So for me, like quality time, physical touch, like I was kind of just, sad to say, but I was kind of used to not having that. So I just kind of adjusted. And then for me, the thing that was last on my list was words of affirmation. Because again, with my previous relationship, it was like words to me kind of lost meaning. It was like, if you don't act upon your words, you can say words of affirmation all you want. But if you don't do the acts of service to match your words of affirmation, like it's completely meaningless. So I kind of came into the relationship being really strong on acts of service. And then honestly, now with COVID and just the relationship I have now with Prithvi, which I feel like is a loving and healthy relationship, it's kind of changed. Like, yeah, I mean, for me, I do like acts of service, but the words of affirmation, I've really grown to become fond of them. I've been trained to like not accept compliments well, but Prithvi is always giving compliments and always challenging me to just be like, just say thank you. Like, just take the compliment. And like physical touch, like, I mean, I haven't been able to see you in a whole month. So like, I'm honestly just like, you know, just being able to sit next to you on the couch, honestly, like I'm just looking forward to just being able to just like hold your hand, like minimal touching, even honestly right now is better than nothing. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of me. And I think in terms of what I like to do for you is I like to give acts of services too. Like I'm John words, but I like if I cook you dinner, I'm like, this is me telling you I love you.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, so the way I like perceive this is like, yeah, Jenny, acts of service. Like I think her love language predominantly is like, wait, you relax, let me do this for you. Let me cook for you, let me do like that sort of thing. And I am just so not used to doing that. I'm the one that is always doing. So that was something new that I had to learn to sort of receive, that like I'm not the one that always has to do things. So that was definitely a big learning curve for me, and I love it now. And but now, like, I think for me, how I express my love is through words, is through definitely through like that touch, as you said, like, you know, holding hands, just a hug, like, you know, that sort of thing is so important to me. But I think this whole idea that people just gel right away, some people do, you know, but also I think like nobody has each other figured out from the get-go. And I think a lot of people like don't talk about that. Like, you know, like we think about like a couple, oh, perfect, cute, like you guys are adorable, but like, you know, there's actually
which we are.
Which we are, yeah. And like, but like there's a lot of learning that both parties have to do. And so I think that
like you've challenged me, like I've had to, because since Prithvi is a words guy, like I've had to learn to use my words more. And like that's something that I had to, like, just because I prefer to receive my love language in a certain way doesn't mean that that's the only thing that I should do. Like I need to match the way that Prithvi wants to receive love. So like that's been something I've had to learn how to get better at. And you know, I'm still working on it, but
yeah, I think innately as people we try to it's so what's the phrase? It's like treat others the way you want to be treated, but now it is treat others the way they want to be treated. And I think that is applicable to love, to support, to all aspects of any relationship, whether it's romantic or not. And I have literally been imbibing that in this relationship and really learning and unpacking what that means. So in a whole slew of different ways, but we can talk about that for hours, really. But I'm really excited about this last question. It really.
Okay. Also, I wanted to shout out. Somebody wrote 18 years with my love and learn every day. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, 18 years from now, I'm gonna still be learning more about you.
That's right. Thank you, Be Fearless You. That is absolutely true. Gold banks, facts. That's right. But yeah, so this one's really cool. I think where, you know, I'm Telugu, you're Tamil, you know, but I was born in India. You're born, brought up here, but like I was, did majority of my growing up here. This viewer asked, what are the similarities and differences between a first generation South Asian American versus immigrants in the romantic dynamics? It's a good question. And
that is a good question.
yeah,
I feel like we can also talk about this on your other platform too.
we will.
Do you want to go first? I talked mostly last time.
No, go for it.
I can start here. So I think that was something that I was a little nervous about, I think, kind of going into it. And I think my family was too. I mean, they asked me questions too, like, you know, are you kind of, you know, are you okay with the fact that, you know, these certain things might be talked about all the time, or like these cultural things that you don't really know, or that you don't, or that we as a family just don't do, or that, you know, also like I am Tamil, I'm culturally Hindu, not the most religious person in general. And also even with Tamil, like I can understand it perfectly, but speaking it back, it's like very messy. Like only if I'm in India, like, and if I'm there for like 2 weeks, I might be able to pick it back up and have like very minimal Tamil/English conversations with people. And Prithvi is very different in terms of that, like much more kind of, I don't want to say connected to culture. I'm connected to culture too, but there's just a lot more, I think, that you do, that your family does. Like you are much more fluent in the language too. You have gone back and forth also a lot more back to India. And also I think you kind of do a lot more things in your household home. Like you know, grew up watching movies and things like that. And so, you know, there are some things that even now, like as we have conversations and stuff, like for me, it's always just about respect and balance. Like I'm not going to push my beliefs or like set boundaries, being like, I don't want to talk about these things, or I don't want, you know, I don't believe that, you know. It's more of just like, hey, you know, I'm not going to try to change you. You don't try to change me. But that being said, like, I want to be pushed out of my comfort zone. I want to be exposed to things. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden overnight, I'm going to be speaking Telugu, but maybe once every week or so, like I'm going to be watching a Telugu movie that I've never seen, or a Tamil movie or a Hindi movie. Like I just have not really seen anything.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, in terms of similarities, like, because I do at least, like, I did grow up in an Indian household and a South Indian household, like, I'm aware of things, like, even though I may not personally do them or have those practices, like, you know, I grew up with friends that did, and so I'm at least, like, culturally aware. Our families are also culturally different. We have the same type of cultural expectations, family expectations, even though I may not, know or practice the, you know, religious ceremonies super devoutly, like I'll still kind of carry on some of those traditions just because I know it's honoring my tradition and honoring my family. And also, like, you know, the food is pretty similar, and like, and I feel like a lot of the dinners and stuff are, you know, even if we're cooking together or something, like we've made dosa, like we've made Indian food, and but yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there are differences for sure, but I think as long as you're coming at it from a space of like mutual respect, knowing that you're not ever trying to change someone, but that like exposure and challenge is okay, and like balance is good too.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I definitely agree with that, and I think a lot of people have, you know, even us talking about it, about like what role our identity plays, our cultural identity plays in this relationship. I think it's really important to realize that a partnership, a relationship, is not just focused on one facet. It's about multiple facets, right? Like a partner is not like, it's a lot of times, like I think maybe some of the older line of thought is like, if you're Telugu, if you're Tamil, if you're you're born, brought up there. It's like, oh, marry another Telugu person, marry another like Tamil person, marry somebody in this caste and like that religion, or oftentimes we just like culturally we may have heard that, but that's not the it's not one and done. Like that's not the only thing that'll make a relationship flourish. I think a partnership which will make both of us grow together, a partnership where both of us can learn from each other, a partnership where I have support and where I can be support for you, a partnership where you can lead and I follow, a partnership where I lead and you follow. Like, all of these things are so many facets in terms of bridging those for a successful relationship in my mind. And so there's so many things we have in common. When I speak to your parents, they're like my parents. When I eat your mom's food, it's like eating my mom's food. When your Indian food is fire.
Thank you.
I love it. It reminds me of home. But also, I personally, in my personal life, I'm not gonna front. Like, I'm not sitting here eating dosa every day. Like,
Right.
I'm not sitting here eating rice and papu and avocado every day. Like, I like to eat my Thai food. I like to eat my Italian food, and a lot of which we also have our common ground, and beyond food as well. Like, and experiences and how we travel together and how we experience new things together, like camping. I've never been camping. Janny took me camping a couple weeks ago, a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, and I've never done that. And that's something out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoyed. And now I hope to incorporate it into my life now, into our life now. So, while there are differences, we also have the similarities where we understand that our culture isn't the culture that from the motherland that we came from or your parents came from, but rather it's something that we're building and growing together, something new. So that is
but that's a great question. And honestly, I mean, you and I have been talking about that a lot, like over the past couple of weeks. And I think, and again, like just because we're doing this doesn't mean we're perfect. Like even just this week, I asked, I was like, man, it probably would really be easy for you to be with a Telugu girl. And you were like, I mean, being Telugu is one part of me. It's not the only part. And then you had to remind me to be like, we have so many other things outside of just our culture that has brought us together. And I was like, yeah, good point. So, it's a great question, and one that I we've even talked about recently.
Exactly. And, a case in point, like, my best friend, Preet, his parents, such an adorable couple, Prem and Rose. It's ironic that that's what their names are. But Prem and Rose, they're both from Mumbai, but one's Malayali and the other one is she's Goan. One's Hindu, one's Christian. And that household is so supportive of both cultures because they're both very vocal about, Auntie's so vocal about her Goan culture. She goes to church. They go to Christmas caroling. And like, Uncle is Hindu. He goes to the temple. He Krishna Janmashtami, like he'll celebrate that. And they're both there. They're both there supporting each other. He'll go caroling. She'll go to the temple. Like, and just allowing the space to be us. I think that that's how we do that. But that was a fantastic question.
That was a good question. Also, I'm doing a time check. It's 7:30. So maybe we can do our last couple ones. And then also my screen time thing is about to go.
Mine too.
I'll ignore it, but then I'll hop back in.
Well, no, actually, that was our last question.
Oh, beautiful.
So
good timing.
We're finishing up. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys. We're going to try to do this every week. And each week is going to be like Jenny hosting it or me hosting. I mean, we're both going to be on live, but what I'm really excited about is the next 2 weeks or the rest of September. Jenny is going to be actually with me here in Georgia, so we're going to be together.
Yay.
So next week we're going to be in Georgia together, and so she's going to host that one. So go follow her.
So follow.
Yeah, go follow her at
This way, that
JRPW
way.
Services.
Okay,
And obviously you can find our puppies Instagram links to in our bios, Bahu Puppy and Oliver the Traveler in her bio as well for more cute content. And yeah, so give her a follow. We're going to go live on that next week. And yeah, and more announcements. So because she is coming this weekend, my interview with Snigdha Nandipati unfortunately has to be delayed. I'm just announcing it here, but also make a post and tell you guys that it's going to be rescheduled for the following weekend. So excited to have her. But, you know, Jenny, thank you so much for doing this. This is fun.
yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
Can I make 2 announcements too?
Yeah, please.
So tomorrow I'm hosting a women's entrepreneurship event. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Time, but it's also virtual, so you don't have to be based in Memphis or anything. Just go to my my profile, JRPW Services. Go to the link in bio, and you can register completely free. Anyone who identifies as female and whatever that means to you, it's just a way for us to support and empower each other as entrepreneurs. And then on Monday, I have a podcast, What's on Your Mind. And on Monday is the first mini-sode series episodes that we're doing, partnering with Be Fearless You Foundation. And they're going to be stories of survival and struggle and everything in between related to mental health and wellness. And we're doing it purposely on Monday because that's the start of National Mental Health Awareness Week. So yes, everyone please also support and love each other.
That is awesome. Definitely go follow her at JRPW Services. Her podcast is What's on Your Mind. We're going to go live next week from her account, JRPW Services. So just follow her from here and check out the podcast. I learned so much every week. And she offers more services than just the podcast. Check her story out today. All the services that she has to offer. And yeah, well, thank you so much.
I'm back.
yes, I had to do the same thing. But yeah, I was just saying, go to your website and check out your story today for all the services that you have to offer. But yeah.
Perfect.
Okay, this was good. First episode of Partners
and
and Puppies. I'm going to post this on my IGTV. I'll send this to you as well, and I'm going to post it onto my YouTube channel, link found in the bio. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe. Bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you. You're my best friend.
You're my best friend too.